What's going on, everybody? This is the Daily Fantasy Show brought to you by DFO. It is Friday, November 3rd. We got a tiny two-game slate going on tonight, so we're going to talk about it for a little bit. Just got two games. Starts at 9 o'clock. New Jersey at the Oilers and the Predators at the Ducks. So, what do you do on a two-game slate? You play a little bit of everything, right? I mean, let's just recap last night a little bit. It was very hit and miss. Boston was a big letdown. Calgary was a big letdown. The Islanders were good. Columbus 1 was good. Kings 2 were good. Hopefully you made a little bit of money. What's going on? What's going on? But yeah, 12-game slate. Last night was a little tough. Those huge slates are always a little tough because the cash lines are low because everything's so spread out. So if you miss on one of your lines, you're in big trouble. Yeah. Islanders were good. Yeah, Bruins sucked. But, what can you do? That's hockey. It's DFS. It's life. There's a nice little $6, or it's not little, it's actually bigger than the forecheck, the $6, 150 max on DK, 10,000 the first. Hall revenge game, yeah. Smells like Edmonton 3, New Jersey 2. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. There's going to be a ton of salary on the table. That's a way to go. It's a way to differentiate yourself. Obviously, the chalk, yeah, why not? And you play a little bit of everybody. Maybe need some strategy talk. Do you play? Yeah, I mean, I play both GPPs and cash. Depends, GPPs, the swings are, if you just play GPP only, the swings are going to be a little more violent, especially if you don't cash for a week. If you play cash, you can win some back, even if you have an off night. Strategy, well, there's 4 lines per team, 4 teams, 4 goalies. There's a lot of ways to go. There's probably going to be some ties, I would imagine. For me, I think strategy-wise, I'm going to enter multiple lineups, and I'm going to take a stand. Who's going to be chalk? Edmonton's going to be chalk. Connor McDavid's going to be chalk. I don't know if salary's really going to be an issue tonight. I mean, looking at the salaries, after McDavid, the most expensive healthy center is Ryan Johansson, who's $3,000 less than McDavid. There's a couple guys over 7,000, Draisaitl, Forsberg, and Hall, but yeah, I don't want to even take a guess I don't want to venture a guess at what McDavid's ownership's going to be, but fade him at your own risk. I think what I'm going to do is have a lot of Corey Schneider. I think that will combat the McDavid chalk, especially if Schneider has a good game. But really, what are your options tonight? I mean, you fade McDavid. He has multiple points. You're screwed. Well, Hall always has a narrative he doesn't need any extra motivation to have a good game, although I'm sure he will want to stick it to Edmonton. I think what you can do, you 6-man stack. You can 6-man stack the Oilers. You can there's so many different ways you can put cash lineups in the GPPs. You know, have your normal 4-3-1s, 3-3-2s. You just mix it up. I mean, there is no wrong play tonight. Like anything's in play. The problem is the $6 150 max. So those guys with, you know, huge bankrolls are going to enter 150 lineups and have every single possible combination, and that's going to be a little bit annoying. But I think there's still money to be made, especially if you take a stand. Obviously, I love Edmonton tonight, but again, you know, their ownership's going to be through the roof. I think you can combat that with Corey Schneider. I don't know if anyone's really going to be low owned on the, you know, in the top two lines on any of the four teams. So I mean, I think, you know, if you want the stone cold top plays, I think it's Edmonton 1 and Nashville 1. You want a little bit lower ownership, Edmonton 2, Anaheim 2. I think, you know, New Jersey, obviously the Hall line's going to good play. Honestly, looking at my sheet right here, it does not look like salary is going to be an issue. So I think, you know, leaving a good amount of salary on the table is a good way to differentiate yourself. Fading a top line on a team and, you know, six-man stacking a second and third line's a way to go. Again, it's just the problem is, you know, if you fade 55% Connor McDavid and he has 2 goals, I mean, you're not going to make money. You got to go into that knowing that. Obviously, in cash, you have to use McDavid tonight. There's no way you can fade McDavid in cash. I don't even know why you'd play cash on a 2-game slate, but if you are that crazy, just play McDavid. McDavid, Forsberg, Taylor Hall. And just, you know, yeah, all those guys are in play. Case, that's not how you pronounce it, but I'm going to call him Case. Montour and Raquel, always in play tonight. You know, if you put a gun to my head and you told me to stack 2 teams that you think, you know, are going to come out the best, I'm going to take the top lines from Edmonton and Nashville. That's just me. I think every single goalie's in play tonight as well. Schneider, Rinne, Gibson, Talbot. They're all in play. They all could be the play. They all, like, I wish I can be more of a help and have like a lean on something here. But, you know, I think maybe if I'm going Edmonton 1, Nashville 1, I think I'm going to use Rinne. Out of the 4 teams, I like the Ducks the least, but that's me. That could be my bias because I am not a huge Ducks guy. Basically, you have to get your stack perfect and your goalie perfect. I think, you know, one of the things you can do is get a little punty on D. I think, you know, with salary not being an issue, people are just going to plug in the guys up top. You just kind of hope to get lucky with salary on the table and punt D-men. So, like, using Sam Girard in Nashville, I think you can do that as to differentiate yourself and hope Yossi doesn't do anything. Darnell Nurse on Edmonton, Severson on New Jersey, Sami Vatanen on the Ducks, you know, or what's his face? Josh Manson. These are just ways to different, like, obviously, like, if you fill out your lineup and you have salary left, you're just going to plug in, like, Yossi and Clefbaum or Clefbaum and Montour, or Yossi and Montour, etc. So I think you can, ways to differentiate yourself is use, like, Lindholm, Vatanen, Nurse, Ekholm, Severson, Girard, people like that. I mean, I don't think you have to get extra crazy. I mean, you could. You know, John Moore at 2,900. I wish I was more of a fan of, like, any of the third lines. But there's injuries. for almost every team tonight. So, I mean, Derek Grant could be an interesting punt. Callie Yarncroc could be an interesting punt to leave salary. Brian Boyle. This is just like me, just like naming everybody because there is no right answer on a 2-game slate. There really isn't. If you think so, does anyone have any questions? Any strategy questions while I'm here? Life advice, swipe right. That's what AD would tell you. Yeah, I mean it's really anyone's guess. I mean you can even if you even to differentiate yourself a little bit, if you're making 20 lineups, have a couple skaters against your goalie. I mean, don't go crazy, but have like a D-man and another skater. I mean, that's probably a way to differentiate yourself. Like have Taylor Hall against Cam Talbot, something like that. You think like Edmonton's gonna win like 4-2. Yeah, you can use him. I mean, anyone's really in play. Like, I don't know anyone who's like not on play. I mean, obviously people who aren't playing aren't in play. Analysis there. Is there any like... Yeah, you can do first power play in the third line. You can do a second line in the third line. I'm trying to think like... Yeah, I do play pick 'em. There's a good edge there too. I like to stack and pick 'em. People just like to pick the best player in each tier, but I think if you stack, you have an advantage because it's correlated. What, buddy? Kids. They're fun. So what else? Anyone have any... How did I do last night? I posted the only lineup I used. I had Mike Smith, that was about it. And I got Torrey Krug right. They didn't cash. I went light on a 12-game slate. For the most part, I'm a one-lineup guy, but sometimes I like to throw a bunch of stuff around. Depends on the slate. 12-game slate is just kind of... Yeah, I mean, I got crushed. Well, I'm glad we had this talk. So if you guys have any other questions, tomorrow probably around 2 o'clock. I'm going to try to get an article out too. Yeah. Just play everybody. That's my awful advice. Just everyone's in play. But yeah, so if you guys have any other strategy questions, hit me up on Twitter or the premium chat. And we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have some better analysis tomorrow other than play everybody. But yeah, we'll just real quick order. I like Edmonton 1, Nashville 1, then New Jersey, then a little bit of Anaheim. But again, ownership, Connor McDavid is going to be easily the highest owned on the slate. You want a little advantage, you can fade him and use Schneider. But you know what you're signing up for if McDavid goes off. So, buyer beware. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.